Bless up, bless up, bless up. Good morning. Good morning to you all. I hope everything is going well. Hope life is treating you good. We made it another day. Y'all put some T's in the chat. I'm going to come in and put some T's in the chat. Let me be the first one to put some T's in the chat. Today is a day, and every day, that we ought to be thankful. I don't know about you, but I am thankful. I don't know about you. You let me know if you can hear me and you can see me. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me. Hope y'all doing well this morning. Hope life is treating you in a beautiful fashion. We got a lot of things going on around the homestead, and we got a lot of things going on out here in the world too. On top of that, and it's going to get interesting. This is just the beginning. I know it's going to get interesting, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through these challenging situations and challenging times. So I know without a doubt, things are going to get a little bit better before they get too bad. Hopefully they won't get too bad. What's going on? Good morning to you. Ms. Williams, how you doing? Good morning, good morning. Good to see you. You can hear me, you can see me. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, I'm just wondering, making sure that everything is coming through clear. And you can, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Good to see y'all. How y'all feeling this morning? I hope y'all doing well. If you're thankful for today, you know today is a blessing. Put some T's in the chat. The reason why you see the T's in the chat is because we are thankful for today. We're thankful for every day, but we're especially thankful to be here because we didn't have to be here, fam. We didn't have to be here. What's going on, Queen? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning. Shalom. Shalom. Good to see you this morning. Good. Kathy B, what's going on? Come on in, Kathy B. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Grand rising to you too as well. Hope everything's going well. Hope life is treating you good. Kathy says, I'm thankful. I don't know about you, but I'm thankful. I put the T's in the chat first. I came out hot, put the T's in the chat. I came out strong, putting the T's in the chat. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready, willing, and able? That's the question for today. Are you ready and willing for 2025? Because 2025 is the year of testing, conquering, perseverance, strength, fortitude, resiliency. Y'all ready for 2025? Because we're coming in hot, and the life is lifing for a lot of people. I've been getting so much positive feedback, and I appreciate you all for listening in, and welcome to Eco Nation news that you may or may not be able to use. But I'm hoping that the news that we bring to you is going to be somewhat educational, maybe a little entertainment in the middle of it, but then at the same time, hopefully that we can help each other because we have an active chat. If you just brand new here, welcome in. You're listening to the replay, welcome in. But understand, we are very active in our chat. We get active in our chat. We chime in. We talk to each other. Sometimes I don't have the answers. Sometimes somebody in the chat has the answer, and we all share. We all a community where we share this information. We are a tribe where we build our sense of virtual community, and we work to better this place called Earth and this place and time. So welcome in. Sit back, relax. Make sure you can chat. Make sure you hit them thumbs up when you come in. Make sure you share it out if you can. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for all the feedback. I want to talk about some things. I've been getting a lot of different new viewers to this channel. I appreciate it. I welcome you with open arms. I'm hoping that it won't be a waste of your time. I'm hoping that it will be beneficial to you in some kind of way. And I'm not saying I have none of the answers. So I'm brand new to you. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying when I be speaking, I be talking about life, how it hits me and how it's been affected in my life. And I try to reflect and I try to think about the things I go through, whether they're good or whether they're bad. And what I try to do is share some of the things that I learned through the process. Because what I'm learning, a lot of people may have had parents, may have had a sense of community around them, but a lot of people, from what I'm understanding, may not have great communication skills. Like, I get so much feedback from people saying that, yeah, they went to school, got good grades. I was told to get an education, get a good job, do this and do that. But life is more to that. It has more textures and more parts to that. And there was a lot of things that wasn't told to me. And I know my parents, they were working, 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 trying to give me everything that I needed, right? And I appreciate that. But some of the pieces that were missing was time. And what I'm noticing, the new generation now, they are really valuing time. And I love it and I respect it. A lot of people talk about our youth, they talk about things that may not be, quote, um, pleasant or uplifting, but I see a lot of hope. I see a lot of change in our youth. I see a lot of innovation in our youth. And I'm loving it, I'm welcoming it. But I also see they have a lot of access to a lot of information. Some of it is factual and some of it is false. And yes, you can get a lot of information, but the key is how do you discern whether something's factual, whether something's false? You have to test it. How do I know this chair that I'm sitting in is strong and sturdy? I have to sit here and I have to kind of, first, before I sit down, I have to kind of push down on a little bit. I have to wiggle it around a little bit. And then I have to slowly sit in the chair rather than just plopping into the chair, right? The only time the plop comes is after I have tested the chair. That's the same thing with life. We can take information from people maybe our seniors, or maybe people our peers, or maybe people younger, or books, or internet, or Google, or Chat GBT, wherever we want to get our information from. But we got to test it, fam. We got to get into the testing period. We're going to have to transition from just the information age, and we're going to have to transition into the testing age, because this new information portal is spewing strategic lies. And it's so clever and it's so smooth that you think that you're hearing factual information. And some of the greatest fabricators of truth sprinkle truth inside that's mixed with lies. They may not tell you all lies, but then they may mix it in. So we got to understand that not everything we hear and we see now, especially, is always true and always factual. But one thing we do see, the writing is on the wall. And for a lot of you all may not have noticed, or you may be starting to notice. You got inflation. We feel it. We see it, the prices. We see the cost of everything. And then you got your wages. And we see the gap between inflation and inflation is running. It's running. And we're trying to catch up with it with our wages. But we're having to work 2 and 3 jobs, or a full-time job and some side hustle just to barely make it. When it used to be where you could work at a regular job and work 40 hours. And you might didn't have flamboyant stuff. It may not be in the bomb or whatever you want to call it. But it was sustainability. It used to be where you just work 40 hours at a regular job. It didn't have to be a fancy job. I'm not going to name jobs because some people are on different levels, right? But you could work a regular job, and if you get in 40 hours, you work part-time to get just a little bit extra. So say if I wanted a truck, or say if I wanted certain things, I may work a part-time job, but I only work that part-time job to obtain some of those things. So if I was getting ready to go for a vacation, or say if I was getting ready to buy something, I need to save some money, or move or transition, I would work 2 jobs just to get those extra things, right? But now we understand there's always exceptions to everything. So understand, let's be clear, fam. Everything that I'm sharing with you, it's always exceptions to everything. But I'm talking about general. I'm talking about generality, because that's all I can do. I can't go into everybody's life and talk about every single situation. But then I watch how things change from the job to the prices. The wages kind of went up a little bit, but in reality, inflation went way higher than the wages. So a lot of people feel like, okay, we're not, we're already in a recession for 4 years, 2 years. I get all these different comments, right? But don't get it twisted. Inflation is real, and you may be going through a recession right now, but you got to understand it's not determined quote a recession until you get 2 quarters of non-productive GDP, right? Businesses are not producing goods, right? They're not making profits. Now we're going into it. So brace yourself because unemployment is real. No matter who is unemployed, it impacts every single family that loses a job, whether something is right or whether something is wrong, fam. One of the things that I want to really communicate to you is it hurts me to see other people hurt unnecessarily. But we must be resilient and we must move on. We can't sit and wallow in it. We got to move on. We got to come up with strategies. So we're going to talk about some of these strategies because you got to be willing, ready, and able. In order to move forward, you got to be willing, ready, and able because no one's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to lift you up. There's not going to be all of these checks pouring down. It's not going to be all of these resources like we're used to in the past coming through. And then when they do come, most of the time, you are already at a loss. Most of the time, if you're expecting government or anything or any institution to help you, most of the time they only help you once you have lost. So we got to prepare ourselves. And just because we go through these situations does not mean we should lose. We might get a little uncomfortable, but we should lose if we put ourselves in a winning situation. So I want to go in the chat and speak to the fam, speak to everybody. I hope y'all doing well. And tell me what you're thinking today. Tell me what you're going through today. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. All right, what's going on, Gigi? How you doing? What's up, my queen? Good to see you. I'm trying to go all the way to when I first saw Gigi, because that'll tell me where I'm at. J3GS, what's going on? Bless up, bless up, bless up. Priscilla, how you doing? And fam, if I skip y'all, please forgive me. Please forgive me. It's not intentional. Sometimes the chat can get a little crazy, and I want to keep things flowing. What's going on? There you go. Got them T's in the chat. I like to believe that I'm ready. You ready, Queen? Well, this is the thing. As I shared before, I remember in '08 recession. I always call it '08 because that's what they tagged it with. Some recessions, some of the '08 recession didn't hit people to 9 or to 10. Some of them didn't even hit to 11. But it was, quote, the '08 recession. And it's not like a light switch. It don't just come cut on. It just gradually comes on in there. So I'm like boiling water, fam. So it may be starting to affect certain people prematurely. It could affect them in 7. It could affect them in '08. So just understand we tag it like that. But I remember when I thought I was ready, and everybody's situation is a little bit unique. And I hope and I pray we're ready. And if we find ourselves where we're not, we're gonna have to build a sense of community. I want to keep pushing this community thing because we gotta do it. We can't do it alone. There's gonna be times when you're gonna have to leave your kids with somebody you can trust because you can't afford daycare sometimes. Or there are gonna be certain emergencies where you have to leave your kids with somebody you can trust. I'm using that for example because we need each other. We've come to the part where we do everything virtually. We communicate virtually. We text. We do the phone, video chat. But we're going to have to learn how to communicate with each other. We're going to have to learn how to start trusting each other. And we're going to have to learn how to collaborate, build our resources. 2 or 3 families that can't go to Costco to get these discounted items. I'm using Costco as an example, not a promoter of Costco, but this is just the example so you can relate to what I'm saying by collaboration. It may require 2 or 3 families that you comfortable, you familiar with, to maybe get a Costco card, and you notice that certain things, when you buy it in bulk, it is more beneficial, or whether you use Sam or whoever you use. And you might want to collaborate and pool your resources together and just say, hey, we're going grocery shopping. We all going to go and we're going to pile up into a van or to a truck and we'll meet and then let's go grocery shopping. Let's pool our money together and let's go shopping together. We all get 3 buggies apiece, and we all go through here and we'll share the cost. And we might even break stuff up. Once you get either back to the house or in the parking lot, you go ahead and you pop your trunk or you open up your van and you break parts, different pieces, because it's all bulk, and you collaborate. This is what I mean by sharing and collaborate. You know, back in the days, I'm not promoting breaking laws or anything like that, but y'all know what we did. We had a certain account and we shared those certain accounts with our family members and our friends, and we all had one account. Well, one person had an account, we all shared. We're gonna have to get very creative with what we're doing, with sharing different things. I remember growing up, and Gigi, you can attest to this. You remember when we was teenagers, Gigi? You remember it used to be our family members, two of our peers about our same age. Um, you remember we all would go, it'd be the 4 of us. Now, one person or the couple really couldn't afford the trip, but just say we wanted to go to Orlando. So what we would do, we'd get my cousin, your sister, we get in the car and we all pool the gas, we all put in the gas, and then we'll go and we all go to a place, we share the bill with all you can eat restaurant. We might take a little carry out box or something for the night when we go to the hotel. We'll wait before we arrive there. We get there at night. We might sleep in the car. And then when we sleep in the car, we wait till early morning. Back in the days, you used to go to a hotel somewhere about 10, 11 o'clock, and you'll get that whole all the way to that next day. But now that they got smart, they won't even do that no more. You know, everybody's cutting costs and increasing profits except for the pay. Everybody finding ways to cut costs except for the pay. But we'll sleep, then we'll get there, we'll eat breakfast, then we'll go to the hotel, and then we'll crash. And then we get up, maybe crash 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll go ahead and go to the beach or go wherever we're going to go. But we all shared the cost in the whole trip. And we found that it was so effective that one room, instead of paying 2 rooms, instead of one person having to carry the weight of that one room or 2 people, now we had 4 people that were sharing the weight of the room, and we all split it even. We all had fun. We all chilled. The gas didn't seem to be that bad. The meals didn't seem to be that bad. But we're going to have to try to be innovative and come up with some of these strategies. Let's get back to basics, man. Let's get back to cutting off the lights when we're not in the room. And people scorn me about this, but it worked. I used to cut off at the electrical box. Every day when I went to work, I would cut my hot water heater off. I let it fill. And once I hear it cut off, before I leave out, I cut off, I kill my thermostat on my AC and heater. I'm not going to be there. Why am I keeping the temperature regulated when no one's there? And then I cut off the hot water. It may not seem like that much, but I'm telling you, every month you save $30, $40 in your electric bill, multiply that times 12. It adds up. And those little bitty things, cleaning out your car, getting all that junk out your car, getting all the stuff out the back in the trunk, and your car just a little bit lighter. And then now, especially if you're commuting, you got a long commute, every 2 to 3 cents to 10 cents to 25 cents, and you get in that mode, you'll start noticing, man, I got a little bit more money at the end of the month. I normally don't have a little bit more money. Instead of buying all that bottled water, go ahead and buy a jug and then pour it into a already used water bottle that you just got finished drinking out of, close it up, and every day when you go to work, take your water bottle with you. Take a gallon jug with you. Buy it by the gallon versus buying it each individual. Try not to go while you're at work. Try not to go to the break room. Try not to get around certain things that's going to make you spend money. You know what I'm saying? It's just little things that you can do. And even coworkers sometimes. Instead of you buying one pizza by yourself, everybody chip in and buy the pizza. Start a lunch fund, right? They used to have potlucks, you know. These days, you want to make sure you got somebody you can trust with the potluck thing. I'm not really cool with the potluck thing, but some of y'all might be cool with the potluck thing. Start a little potluck. Start sharing if you members of the congregation and different things like that, or maybe social groups or whatever. You got groups of people. All of y'all got young kids. Plenty of things we used to do. We used to share clothes. The kids getting a little bit older. Somebody they having little babies. Go ahead and share your clothes. You know, those are the things that we used to do in hard financial times, but we still thrived and we still were able to make ends meet. We're talking survival mode, not pleasure convenience mode. Now, for some of our youth, this may be foreign to you, but for us, that's a little bit seasoned. We used to it. We've been doing this thing for years, and some of us still doing it even when we good. I know some people who make good money and they still drive a bucket. And what I call a bucket is an old car, been paid for, maybe faded paint, what have you. They still bring their lunch to work. They don't eat out. They still cut down their thermostat. They still do all of these things. They don't buy a bunch of clothes. But just think about this. It's just temporarily, y'all, till you get yourself in a good, balanced situation. Because I don't want you to lose nothing. I don't want you to. There's nothing worse than being in a situation I've been in before. Imagine you got a whole family and everybody's kind of, looking to make sure you're good. And once you start losing stuff, guess what happens? Your credit goes bad, your morale goes bad, your health may go bad, your stress levels go up. Then you start not making good decisions. You're tired all the time. Now you can't work other jobs because you're just struggling to make it through one or two. Your whole creativity piece may not be going that well because you down and downtrodden, you stressed. Then now you lose your apartment or your lease comes up, rent still going up even though the economy is going down because even now homeowners start losing their homes and now they're getting into the rent market. Now your credit is jacked up. You're struggling just to make the money. And everything you're paying for, if you're doing anything on credit, is high because the credit is not good. And you're watching the snowball effect, and it can be overwhelming. So what we're going to do, we're going to just talk about ways, simpler things that you can to stop to avoid getting that situation. Because you don't have to get in that situation if you be wise, but you got to also not be married and so committed to stuff, whether it's learn to sell, learn to let go, learn to exchange, learn to collaborate, learn to get this out of your vocabulary for the next 1 to 2 years. I don't feel like it. I really don't want to. Man, I really don't want to do that. Get all of that out your vocabulary and start looking for, I got to do this. I'm going to get it done. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but it's okay. It's okay. And it's temporary. Because everything that you can touch and feel, if you are able to obtain it, you can get it again. But most of the time, once you go through the storm and get through the storm, a lot of the stuff you thought you wanted, you really don't even. It's not even. I remember it was certain cars that I wanted so bad, and now I rather get an irrigation system, or I rather get a greenhouse, and I'll do that before I would do some of these cars. What happens is you start to grow and you start to mature. Certain shoes, certain clothes, certain jackets, certain hats, certain jewelry, all of that kind of stuff used to matter. Man, I used to always keep a nice herringbone um, necklace or rope, gold rope. I had herringbones, gold ropes, and my hairbones would get crinkled up all the time. And I go buy another one, or I get into a scuffle, and then somebody snatch it off while I'm getting into these crazy little sibling fights. And then I save up again and go save it, and it was wasteful. It was wasteful. Nothing wrong with owning that, but learn to let go. So in '08, all that scrap gold and broken chains, all that, guess what I did? I went to the gold, we buy gold here, and I had to keep the lights on. I had to keep the groceries paid. I had to keep the water on. I'm not committed to stuff. You got to be okay to let it go and release and look for opportunities and look for some creative ways to give yourself a raise. And how I mean by give yourself a raise? We got internet now. You got a book, your life. If you've been here 5 years, 10 years on this earth, 20 years, 35, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, you got a book. You got multiple books in you. Write a book. It don't have to be so thick of a book. I don't care if it ain't but 10 pages. Write it. Put it out there. Have you some things that people need to come to you for? Be a magnet to people. When people come to you, they should know what they need to come to you for, without a doubt. My mother, I know they come to her for anything medical related, anything as far as advice and medical related, or just listening ear. Without a doubt, there's certain people in your life you don't even, when you see them, you automatically know what you go to them for. Make sure you that beacon. Build that beacon inside of you to attract people, because that can be a bartering system that can be exchanged for you. All right, let me go in the chat, y'all. Let me go in the chat. Everybody speaking to everybody. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Okay. Man, I love when y'all speak to each other. That's a blessing right there. Welcome everybody in. Family man, there you go. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Bless up, bless up, bless up, family man. They are training it. Okay. What's up, Life Journey? It's good to see you, Life Journey. Good to see you today. Good morning, Lisa. 2 jobs right now. 2 jobs. That's not uncommon these days. I've heard people got 2 and 3 jobs, and it ain't but 24 hours in a day. And most people that they say are wealthy has about anywhere from 5 to 7 streams of income. What they say. Most of us, we have jobs, but make sure a job can be done in so many various ways. Whether we want to or not, this is the time where even me, I had to pick up a job again, because I watched this uncertainty, I watched this influx, I watch all of this instability, and I'm like, I need to be working. I need to be producing something, right? It's not the sit back and relax time. This is the time to gather, to make sure that you become productive, to make sure that you can put something to a side, to make sure that you, when the bumps come and when the turbulent roads come, that you ready. Imagine this: you driving on the road, and the road is pretty smooth, it's pretty good, and you driving at excess speed, so maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden the pavement ends and the road turns to a graded road. What do you think going to happen when you're going 50, 60 miles per hour and you come off of a good paved road and you didn't expect it? Now, I'm not talking about you knew it was going to happen, but you didn't expect it, and you go on a graded road. Now, I didn't say whether it was raining. I didn't say whether it was dry, but it's just imagine in your head, imagine how. Now, let's go back 10 miles previous to you running to that. Imagine if you knew 10 miles that eventually this road was going to turn to a graded road. You would act and move totally different. You would prepare yourself. You'll make sure your seatbelt on right, and as you will be looking forward, you'll be a little bit more cautious. You will move in a certain way. You still going down the graded road. You still got to go through the road, but having knowledge about that it's on the horizon is much better than just driving and you're going 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, and then you just hit that graded road. This is what this is all about. This is what this conversation is all about. you're getting ready to run into a graded road. We all going to run into the graded road. We all going to travel the same direction. But now, some people may hit that graded road. They may run off the road completely. Some people may swerve and get caught into a ditch. Some people may get on that road and they didn't have their seatbelts on and they get thrown around the cabin. Some people may just, for whatever reason, they may go through something different from what you go through, but we all got to go through the road. And being prepared to the best of your ability, we don't know how our vehicle is going to react. The axle could break, the car could shut off, the throttle could get stuck. We don't know what may happen. The brakes could lock up. But if we prepare, we can at least get ourselves ready for the impact, because it's best that you know what you're getting yourself into before you actually go. So that's all. That's all the goal is to do. Lisa D, I don't know if I spoke to you. Bless up, Lisa D. Priscilla, YouTube changes. Okay. Y'all speaking. I'm trying not to get in y'all conversation. Many are working for the CEO to gain more generational wealth for their family. This is real life. Trust in the Most High to supply all your needs. Yes. I totally agree with that. The whole thing is to have a balance to the best of your ability. Life is not balanced whatsoever, but you're trying to sustain some type of what you would call balance. You whether we like it or not, we're on this earth, we're going to work. Even people that they say they don't work at no job, or even people that say, well, they out there on the government, living off the government. If you ain't never been in the hood, you ain't never been in the projects, if you ain't seen no hustlers, it's some hustlers in the projects. They be working. You may not see them working. It might not be documented, but the hustle game be real. It takes work to survive. There's strategies to survive. There's strategies to make it off that little bit of income. It's strategies to make it off of a high income, to maintain a high income. It's strategies to keep a job. It's strategies to apply for a job. And learning these strategies is all about work. So trying to balance work, it's almost like your check. Do 75% of your check goes to someone else? Or does 50% of your check goes to someone else? We have to position ourselves where we try to balance it to the best. Now, some things in life we bring on ourselves. Some things in life we welcome it on in because we want to feel good all the time, or we just want to have a good time. YOLO, you only live once, but everything comes at a cost. Be faithful. Be obedient. Stay prayerful. Have faith. But work. There was creation. There was life. There was resources. There was a place. And there was a work. And then there was help with the work. So this is a part of life. It's just one of them things, a part of life. Every day a bird gets up, it got to work. Every day a turtle gets up, it got to work. Every day a bear gets up, it got to work. Now, speaking of the bear, there's some animals that if they can't find their resources or what they need, some birds may turn around and eat their young. Some fish may turn around and eat their young. Remember, these are species that we have to live by. So imagine, do you think they really want to eat their young? No, they don't want to, because it's survival mode. This is the last resort. So what do you think they think about you when they interact with you? So understand, life is not so pleasant and so sweet. We have people that are looking to devour, to kill, because they are trying to survive at the cost of you and me. And understand, if they are willing to consume their own flesh and blood, what value do you have to them? Remember, this is survival. This is survival that we do every single day. Every single day that we get up and we move, we in survival mode. Out here in these woods, You know what happens every single day? Something has to die to live. Every single day. There's more X's or deletions out here than even in the cities, the most heinous cities. And it happens every day in nature. And somehow we have come disconnected to nature to the part where we don't want to be inconvenienced to survive. But you're going to have to be inconvenienced sometimes to survive. It's in your nature. It's in your nature. It's going to be a point in a time where you're going to have to get a little uncomfortable. I really rather cut the thermostat up because it's cold in here. But no, I'm going to bundle up because I'm going to save these few bucks. I really want to take my kids here or do this or do that. Not going to do it right now. We're going to hold off on that. I got to be creative though. It does not mean that you can't have fun. You know, what happens instead of you saying, okay, we're going to go and buy a membership to a certain fun club or fun event or certain things like that? What happened if you took that 1 month of what you would be paying and buy some board games or have some trips to the park or go for a walk or teaching kids how to play Foursquare or buying some jump rope, or maybe some of these, what I see these fees that people be paying for these fun parks and to get ultimate access and all that kind of stuff, or what they pay for a family and all that stuff for Disney World and all of these other places, but what they pay per month or per year, whatever, per quarter, however you pay it, if you broke that down, you can get a lot of creative small things for far less. But it requires you getting outside of your comfort level. It requires you doing something that the average person not doing. It requires you to be creative and use your brain to do some things that you might not ordinarily do. Take a look at some old movies from back in the days, and look and see what they did to entertain themselves before the internet, before the telephone. They did a lot of work, but they did have fun too. So think about some of those basic things, or think about ways that you can go for 1 or 2 days out the week with no cash spending, or reduction in how much cash that you spend. You normally spend $8 to $12 per morning, and then $8 to $12 per lunch, and then maybe 8 to 12 for dinner, not including your snacks, not including your sodas and all your other stuff. Maybe instead of spending that $50, $60 for that day, spend $30 for that day. Make your own coffee. Get creative with your kids and make your own lunches. Even if it's just only for 2 or 3 days out the week. Those little small things that you do will give an impact to your bottom line. But are you willing and are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because if you're not, the opposite side is you're going to watch things leave you that you didn't work years for. You're going to watch overwhelming late fees. And I'm telling you, they get gangster. These people that we owe, they should be investigated and locked up underneath a prison. Now, here I am. I got a $500 credit card. Or it doesn't matter. You can put a number in there. I got a $500 credit card. And things get a little tight. And I've been paying for the last 4 or 5 years on time. Never missed nothing. Never did anything. And I only had like $100 balance on there. And I missed that one payment. They're going to hit me with a late fee. Then they're going to hit me with some type of charge that I ain't never heard of. Then they're going to come up with some other charge. Next thing you know, I'm negative. Then they're going to hit you with another fee. And I'm like, do y'all want this money? That I'm trying to give you this money. But then now you got a payment that you're going to take 3 to 5 months just to catch up, to get back to that status that you were. And you watch this happen. But now imagine multiplying that by your car, by your house, by your other utility bills, because they're going to cut them off if you don't pay it. And you don't want to be in those situations because it becomes a snowball effect. Now we want a deposit. It's stuff you'll never heard of when you down and out. It's stuff that comes out. Y'all chime in if y'all feel me what I'm talking about. When you down and out, stuff comes out the woodwork. All of a sudden, subscription fee or annual dues and all kinds of stuff hit you when you down. That's why you don't want to get down. You don't want to get into that situation. Right. It was a different era back in the day. We really have to use discernment now in this day and age. We always did, and you're absolutely right. We always have and we always do, and we gotta heighten it to another level. Because we're watching a time where it's not unusual for your kids or 30-year-old or 40-year-old to get all this exposure and knowledge, they still can't afford to buy a roof over their head. They don't even see it in the cards. We in that age. We're in the age where they got 40-year mortgages. Makes no sense at all. There's no way in the world the average salary, the average house should be maybe 1 to 2 years of your salary, your annual salary, the average house. Think about it. If you go back into the 30s, the 40s, it wasn't until credit came on the scene till they started extending all of this 10-year mortgage, 15-year mortgage, 20-year mortgage, 30-year mortgage, and now we're up to 40-year mortgage. People paying on cars for 8 and 10 years. And they billing them where they only last 3 to 4. And that's if you take care of them. And then you end up trading that in because you're watching it deteriorate. And then whatever you didn't pay on that one, you stacking it up on that one. And I'm watching people driving these little matchbox cars. That's all popular. Everybody want it. They want to ride these fast, low quality cars because the company never was high quality. I mean, but the cars were sleeper cars. They call them sleeper cars because they was small cars with a big engine. But they didn't have, they had roll up windows and you had to manual lock the doors. These were basic low line cars, affordable cars with a big engine. But now they act like they pristine. And we're watching people paying $180,000, $110,000, $120,000 for these cars that was never designed to be no high end car. And now we're watching them trading them in with still $40,000 they owe, $50,000 they owe. Then they go and they get another car. Now imagine you still owing $30 and $40 and $50,000 on your car, and then you adding it to another car, and you got another 8-year loan, and you paying the price of a rural house with land for a car that you'll never own. But a lot of them, they don't know. They don't know what they're doing because we haven't communicated, we haven't shared, and then they still want to do their own thing. But they suffering because they're watching how in the world if I'm paying $1,000 to $1,200 for a car, not including insurance, not including the gas, that's just for the car. And then I'm paying $1,500, $2,000 a month for rent, and I'm paying for food, and it's keep going up. Now I'm supposed to save up 6 months to a year for emergency fund. I'm supposed to then not on top of that, once I save up that money for emergency fund, I'm supposed to never touch it because the car ain't gonna never tear up. Nothing never gonna go wrong. And then I gotta try to save up for 20% or even 3.5% if I'm using the FHA for a house. And I'm watching a house a $500,000 or some cases meal on up, and I'm trying to come up with 20% or 3.5% of that. We got them in a situation where They can't win. They can't win. But we shake our heads and say, the youth. No, because of what we've been feeding into this beast. Because somebody should have said, I ain't finna finance no car. It could have been our parents or what. Some generation should say, I'm not financing this. I'm not financing that. I refuse to finance because at one time you used to could save up. Now, if my great uncle that moved to, well, they moved in Miami about the around the 40s, and my great uncle worked at a print shop, and he saved up to pay cash for a convertible Cadillac in the 40s. He worked a regular job in the manufacturing industry, and he saved up enough cash to buy a brand new Cadillac convertible in the 1940s. It was a time where my great uncles would come from Connecticut and Miami because the South had this migration of African Americans where they either went down south because you got to understand Florida was really undeveloped. South Florida was almost non-existent. Back when you can get a house that's now $500,000. Them houses, my dad, when he first bought his house in South Florida, that house he bought it for $23,000 in the 80s. In the mid 80s, $23,000. When he sold that house in the early 2000s, I think he got over $300 some odd thousand for that same house that he bought in the 80s. That's unacceptable. And we keep feeding the beast. And I don't know, it got to be a generational change that we're not going to do this anymore. It got to be a part where we got to not be at the part where we're willing to do that anymore. I cannot believe this. What's going on here? Y'all get ready. Hold on for a second. Y'all get ready.
I'm so sorry.
We're getting ready to make an event happen.
Yeah, just move so I can get
and I'm just making sure that am I awake or am I asleep?
Just move so I can get in. Slide the other way.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's your show and everything. We're gonna make that happen.
No.
Yeah,
You just
I want you in the light though.
Nah, I'm good. You have said way too much stuff today for me not to come on. But go in. Keep going.
Just in case you didn't know, this beautiful queen here is Miss Gigi.
Hey y'all.
Gigi
hey everybody.
Natural.
Hey everybody.
Y'all go check out her channel, Gigi Natural.
I know it's been a while and I be violating, not doing videos regularly, but
it was so cold out here, but now I feel warm all of a sudden. I feel like if I start to sweat, y'all forgive me.
But look.
What's up? Welcome back.
We have to. Oh my God! You said so much, and I was sitting in there like, I'm not fixing to go and interrupt his live. I ain't about to go and interrupt this man live.
You used to,
but
you used to. I don't know what changed.
But when you said that we keep feeding the beast, that I was like, I gotta go because it's so true. When I think about when we were raising our kids were young, and the kids were they wanted to always have cable. They wanted to see all of this stuff, and we were like, no, because we know they call it programming for a reason.
Yep.
And we were not willing to allow our children to be more influenced by that, by the TV, by the news, the different stations, programming our children. And so going back to what several people were saying.
And I apologize, Chad. I hadn't been on top of the chat. I need to go.
We had a little short conversation about I said break out the VHSs and the DVDs, and that is what we did. Instead of us paying $80 a month back then, like we started canceling things. We were like, no, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to have our kids being influenced we want it to be the influence on our children. When your children are young, like if you allow the world to get to them and steal away their innocence by their eyes and their ears, like you're doing your children a disservice. And those who have older children, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Children, they're sponges.
They are sponges.
And they will soak it up. One thing I liked about what we did is we selected the books they read.
Mm-hmm.
We selected the and remind me. I want to say something. I ain't gonna hold it too long, but remind me to say something about home and with your kids. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you select your movies, your child's entertainment, they ain't gonna suffer. They will adapt. Children are so adaptive to their environment,
Mm-hmm.
and their conversations are different from the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Their mindsets are different from the other kids. The way they move is different from the other kids. But now let me tie this in. I'm gonna shut back up now. Being home with your kids requires effort and sacrifice.
Yeah.
I got so many that time when I said I lost my job, I lost my house, I lost my health, I lost everything. And people came in, you said you was married, where was your wife? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you simp, you this, you that. They came at me hard.
Mm-hmm.
Where was your wife? My wife was home taking care of the kids. They didn't say, did your wife work part-time? Yeah, she picked up work. But y'all don't understand the economic downturn if you never lived it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could have been old enough, but did you own a home? Did you own rental property? Were you a business owner? What the question is, what were you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you were secure and you didn't have no interruption in your job or your income. Or maybe you was home with your parents and you didn't have none of those interruptions, right? But if you're out here and you got kids, there's nothing more powerful because I never had to worry about abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Never had to worry about my kids getting changed. Never had to worry about my kids when they were sick. Never had to worry about they getting fed right, them getting abused. I never had to worry. Those were things I didn't have to worry about. Didn't have to worry about their education when they was homeschooled. Didn't have to worry about were they gonna do good, were they growing, did the provider have their best interest. I didn't have to worry about none of that. You best believe I will bust my behind to the hell to the ends of the earth to make sure they good. That house is good. Because guess what? When I got sick, guess who was there? When I couldn't do what I needed to do, guess who was there? So before you get so really all intertwined into this 50-50 thing and all this other stuff, y'all got to understand that God gave man a place and a job and a work, and it gave him a help meet. Help meet what? Whatever it takes. Well, that's it. I don't care about 50, 60, 70, whatever. It's time where she's doing 90%. I might be doing 10%. It don't matter. The key is, are we working together? Are we striving to do what we need to do as a unit together? And in these hard times, it's going to be some arguments because the money not going to be acting funny. And if you're attracted to each other based on this guy makes that kind of money, this woman makes this kind of money, this man got this good job, this woman got this good job, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna have to understand when you pull out a DVD and you sit there and you watch it with your kids and you ain't cringing or nothing like that. Y'all all laughing because you're watching something that everybody can watch. Then guess what you can do? Because it's hard times. See, y'all sleeping on this. Guess what we're gonna do? We had friends, church members, church friends. We're gonna have movie night. Guess what we did with other families and other friends? We had movie nights. You bring the popcorn. You bring some chicken. You bring this. Guess what we did? We might have spent $5 a head for date night, movie nights. You got your kids. You got entertainment. They running around. They having a good time. It's so many things you can do. guess what we also did? When the grown folks came and the grandparents had the kids, we got movie night again. That same DVD player, dropped that same DVD. But get what we did? We did a cover charge. You come in here, I was a photographer. I had a little booth set off to the side. You come to the house, you watch the movie night. We got movie night. I rented the movie for a little bit of nothing. Did a cover charge. They coming in, they sit back. It's a BYBO fair, whatever you want to do a fair, right? And then we do the photo shoot. We did the photo shoot off to the side. You pay for the digital photo, didn't have to print nothing. I emailed you the photo, and guess what? That night, you make enough money to pay light bills, plus some. Being creative, being collaborating, working together, though.
I can just go ahead and leave.
No, go ahead.
No, you hit on. I couldn't have said it better myself. You hit on so many points, and for us to start to get creative again.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to have to be creative. They don't want to have to think outside of the box. And I think the programming also has made it where people don't even know how to think outside of the box and to do something different. So when we were getting together, it was all of the stuff that you could watch without cringing. All of the stuff that you could watch, and then grandparents can come in, and then aunties can come in, and everybody can sit down and watch the Cosby Show. Everybody could watch A Different World. Everybody could watch all of the stuff that we liked, and we would go and buy the series of these things. We're gonna buy the whole series, DVD series, and that way, when we're getting together, we don't have to worry about our children watching stuff or our elders feeling disrespected because of something that keeps popping up on the screen. Like we had morals and values and all of that stuff back then. It was very, very important to us. So for us to get and just be a little creative and think outside the box a little bit, and don't believe everything that you see on TV, and don't believe everything that you hear, and turn the radio off. When we go to different cities, or if rarely I'm in the car with somebody else and their radio is on, and I'm like, and I'm hearing the same stuff, the same type of thing over and over again. It's like you hear the same song within a 2 or 3 hour ride. You done heard the same song about 4 times. And I'm like, what is happening? We have to wake up and we have to put on our glasses and say, you know what? I realize now that these people are programming this madness into me. They're programming this nonsense into me. And until we start to think for ourselves, until we start to get more creative and want something different for our life, whether you have kids or not. If you want something different for your life, you can have that something different. You just have to move, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to mess with it. You just have to move, and you have to think. You gotta think outside the box, outside of what somebody has told you or what you thought that somebody else wanted to see you do. There's a lot of people that are still like competing. They're competing, and we're like, all of us are out here trying to survive.
We're in the same pot.
We in the same pot. All of us need our job. All of us need our videos to make some money. And we're out here like trying to kill each other, competing, trying to kill each other, trying to destroy each other, trying to make each other look bad instead of lifting each other up and truly being a real community. A lot of people don't even know what that's like because they were raised in like the gutter, you know what I mean? And so they grow up and they keep that same gutter like type of mindset, and then everybody that is around them just gets pooped on a little bit, you know?
Well, the thing is energy is vibration. It's just like this. Just say you come in to your job and it's early in the morning. You get some people that come in, good morning, hello, how you doing? Mm-hmm. And you be like, okay, I gotta wake up first. Some people like, I gotta wake up first. Then you get some people, they don't say nothing to nobody. They just go and do what they got to do. Or even when you see them, they don't greet you, they don't interact. It's a vibe, it's a vibration. And we have to set the tone with our vibrations on what we put out. Because I'm telling you, whether you want to or not, music, sounds, tones, it's programmed. Even in these new electric cars, there's certain bells, ringtones that drives and moves your motivation. It's like a baby. When a baby has the same pitch, a certain pitch, to activate your brain to action.
It's move. Like if you've ever, if this is for the women, if you are a woman and you've ever breastfed before, for example, when your baby cries, it's like you get what people now say download, but you get a literal download, and it's time for your baby to eat. Your body automatically knows from just hearing your baby cry.
Come on, y'all.
You're like,
ain't God amazing?
God is amazing.
Come on, man.
God is amazing.
It's things we don't even know about right now. It's things that we're still developing and learning that's by nature. If we would sit down and take the time and stop the distractions and pay attention to us and our bodies, it's certain people, certain voices that could come into your life and your countenance changes. It's certain people can give you certain looks. You could be having an awesome day and somebody can look at you in a certain way and give you a certain frequency, a certain vibration. That's why we got to guard our home, our domain, where we are. We gotta be guardians of our peace.
We were sitting at the gas station one day. He was out pumping the gas, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like trying to catch up on my messages before I start back driving, right? And then all of a sudden, I got this download to call one of our daughters, the middle daughter, to call the middle daughter, just all of a sudden out of the blue. And so I called, she didn't answer the phone. And then I sent her a text like, you need to answer my call, you know. And she was like, give me just a second, Mom, I'll call you right back. And she called back and something was happening with her. And so I was like, this is when you're connected to each other, when you're connected to your family, when you're connected to your tribe, when you're connected to people, it really is a vibration. Like you get so much stuff just from the universe by you being truly connected to people. And something was happening with her in that moment that I got that download. And so, you know, to be able to talk and we were able to talk and we were able to work through what she was going through. And so this happens also with siblings. One of my sisters said the same thing. She said, you know, I meant to ask you yesterday about such and such. And then she said, and I thought, dang, I didn't ask her. And then here come me sending her a message saying, hey, pray for such and such because this happened. And she was like, wow, you know, this is why you have to follow your intuition. Like God gives you that for a reason. And you have to follow that. But you can only get that if you're connected to God, for one, and if you're connected to that person. Like if something is wrong with him, he don't have to say a word. I know it. I know something is wrong with him. He don't have to say a word. But when you're connected that way, nobody has to say anything because you're going to automatically feel when something is not quite right or when something is off.
What's the first initial step into cultivating that type of connection is time. Spending quality time, uninterrupted time to truly get to know each other. What I noticed is long time ago, and that's kind of what we did when we was raising our kids. We kind of went back to time that kind of how we grew up. When people sat down and read stories to each other, and they disconnected from a digital source, when people sat down and turned the pages, you turn the page, baby, turn the page. Get your child to turn the page. That formed a collaboration. When you ask your child, you're reading the story, you see your child starting not to kind of pay attention, and then you ask them a question, and then they give you the answer. All of this stuff is fundamental, setting foundations for relationships and connections that will be life lasting. It's so important. That's why they say when a mother has a child, they want to put the child close to the mother to establish that bond, that connection. And I hate to say it, when I watch a lot of us, not just the youth, but us, we're spending more distracted time away from each other. And is that by design? I'm not going to say that because people say conspiracy, but think about it. Even simple things from board games, we no longer have them. No longer shuffle cards. We no longer pick up a rock and then draw some lines in the sand. And then we no longer play four squares. We no longer play a lot of the games. We no longer take sticks and make them a guitar or a broom and make it. It's things that we no longer connect with. But if you watch birds, bears, tigers, if they're not in captivity, they still do the same thing they did for generations a long time ago. We so smart, we the only ones that have disconnected from our blueprint, from what we used to do a long time ago.
And we disconnected from that source. Is listen, I don't care what nobody says. If you disconnect from your creator, somebody created you. If you disconnect from your creator, you're going to have some real issues that you didn't anticipate you having. All of us gonna have struggles and troubles and all of this. But when things are happening like what's happening in the world right now, you don't lose your hope. You're not going jumping off of no building, 50 stories high. Like you're like, well, God always provided. He's gonna continue to provide. We're gonna be okay. Lisa D, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Lisa D said that's so true. She was talking about the connection between parent and child or people. God laid my late son on my heart minutes before he passed away. That connection is real. It is real. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hi Sylvia, how are you? Good to see you. But yeah, having those connections, but you make those connections by time. And this is why I truly believe that the billionaires need for us to not have any time to do anything, to do all of that stuff. That is why they take our time. That is why they want our time so bad. They desperately need our time because they need us only focused on going to work to get a dollar, to do this and that. And that spinning right back around to what you said about not allowing the beast to consume us, in so many words.
Yeah.
We have to stop and back up and say, you know what? Yeah, my car is a 2011, but it only has 90,000 miles on it, and I'm going to keep on driving it because it's paid for. I'm not going to go out there just because there's nothing wrong with the car. Every time I get in it, it cranks. I just put new tires on it. I keep the oil change in it, et cetera, instead of feeling like every time I move, I got to compete with somebody on TikTok about what kind of car they got. I don't care. I have driven a lot of hoopties in my life. My dad, when I was in going to tech school, and my dad was alive, my dad got me a Omni. And if you don't know what an Omni looks like, what is it? Like
A Dodge.
A Dodge. Okay, a Dodge Omni. He got me. He let me drive his car, and it was like a 4-speed.
It was 3-speed.
It was 3-speed. Okay,
something like that.
It was something like that. But all I knew was that sometimes when I would shift, the hook up under the gear would come loose.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go to school one day, and then I was out in the road,
the ship would come up out,
and I couldn't move it. And so he lived right next door to me, so I had to leave the car in the middle of the road and went over to his apartment to get so that he could get on the ground and rehook the shifter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know, you know.
I guarantee she ain't lifted up again like that. You just put it down instead of pull it up.
if you know, you know. Yeah. And so, you know, we've had some hard times, and to me, those times were character building times.
Oh yeah.
Those were the type of things that you really needed in your life in order to be able to move to the next level. Because if you just came out and your daddy gave you a small $1 million loan to get your life started, you're never going to be able to understand what it's like to have to drive the Omni instead of AMG Mercedes all the time. You need those things. They're character building, and they actually it shows when you have a good character. It versus the other thing, it shows. And 7 years ago, he took his life. I talked to him, and I felt the weight and burden he was feeling immediately. I called him back several times. 30 minutes later, my husband called me with the news. I can't even imagine.
That's a vulnerable. I'm so
sorry. Yeah. That is terrible. That's terrible. And I pray that you were able to, and I don't want to say were, because healing is constant. Healing it goes on. It's not something, especially when you lose a child. Mm-hmm. You know, we know it's been 20 years ago.
Yeah, we lost.
And you know, we know what it feels like. And sometimes I just think about the day. I just think about what happened. I think about the circumstances that led up to losing our kids. And I'm just like, she just said it. Lisa just said it. God is my strength. Mm. That is exactly where I was going. Mm. God has to be your strength. God has to be your strength. I have a good friend that lost her daughter recently. And, you know, God has to be your strength in order for you to keep on moving, for you to keep moving day after day after day. So there's so much happening, so many family members. Yeah, I mean, that's so many things happening, and you have to be connected to a higher power so that you don't lose hope that way.
Strength comes from where?
It all comes from the Lord. All comes from the
Lord. And it's comforting to know that no matter where you go through and what you go through, you're not alone, and you're connected to the source.
Yeah.
It's a difference between somebody that knows somebody. You know, you know, trying to get a job or something like that, and you'd be like, I know such and such, he knows such and such, and he might be able to, could, all of that. But when you connected to the source, it's like you don't have no go between you and your daddy, you and your mama. You connected to the source. When you connected to the source, that gives you power within itself. That gives you strength within itself. That gives you more than hope within itself. That gives you strength in the midst of time when you can't do for yourself. That gives you the will and the power to move forward because you're connected to the source, to the source that provides everything, even things you don't even know about, don't even think about. So Find strength by being connected to the source and depend on the source.
Yeah, for sure. It gets you from A to B, and it's free and clear. We can't keep up with the Joneses. We don't know what the Joneses had to go through to get where they. Come on now.
Sometimes you don't want to know what they did.
You don't want to know.
And you sure don't want to travel the same journey. I don't want to travel nobody's journey.
I got my own mess. I tell my husband.
You're in trouble.
I said, look,
somebody else.
My mess is my mess.
It's enough.
Somebody else's mess is their mess. So, like, if I have to get your plate because you done did some stuff on your plate and you want me to scrape it off, I'm like, no, clean up your own.
I'm telling you, growing up, nothing was worse than getting a whooping for somebody else.
For something.
Because you were with somebody else. You harmed somebody. You ain't even get the benefit of doing the wrong. At least give me the benefit. You got caught over here and caught doing this and caught doing that. And I ain't getting nothing out of it but a butt whooping. Nothing ain't worse than that. Needed that. I mean, it don't take long to be like, hey, you can do it. You can go. I'll holler at you. Yeah.
Get my car taken. Have my mama taking my doggone hoop. Here I am. For something my friend I did, I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna roll by myself for now.
Sitting there washing my car and I can't drive. And then I gotta get up early and get on the bus and ride with everybody else on the bus, looking out the window at my car sitting in the yard clean, and I can't drive.
You that ride with general population.
Because I did something with a knucklehead. Man, please. Get out of here. Get out of here. Can't go outside looking out the window because somebody else. Man, I hated that.
Yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst. All right, let's go back. Staying constantly connected to the source. Okay, I think we caught up. Yeah, I did not like that. My late
way up there.
Got us especially.
Shout out to Be Rich too, man. Be Rich. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, hey, Be Rich. Thank you, Be Rich. We really appreciate you.
As always.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was kind of riding. Toy, bless up, Toy.
How you doing, Toy McCormick? Good to see you, Karen and Thomas.
Thomas, what's going on?
Karen and Thomas said, "Oh, well, let's go back to that section. I still have the VHS and DVD of some of the movies are collector's item. Remember 8-track tapes and cassette? Yes. And had some until just recently. During the P, we bought roller skates and orange cones so that we can skate in our home-made old-school driveway garage rollery.
You know what? I'm gonna play with the imagination real quick because I grew up the only child, so all I have is imagination. Can you imagine not the losing of the people? But can you imagine you had to go back to the P and you knew you were going to make it through and they told you go home? Can you imagine the amount of fun you really could have had knowing that you're going to make it through that?
And that's why that's why it's so important also not to move in fear, but to be prepared in all things that you do. And so during that time, I was not working. I was unemployed, and he was the only one working. And he started. You remember when you all first started doing Zoom meetings when they were like, okay, we don't want nobody coming into the office. We're gonna do everything.
I remember this one Zoom meeting.
That's exactly where I was going.
You were? Oh my God!
To learn, like. You had to go through some stuff because a lot of Zoom meetings through churches and all this stuff, like they were getting hacked. Yeah. They were getting hacked and they were having like, just imagine the worst thing that could be on the screen.
I was sitting in the meeting. I remember
it's on the screen in the middle of the church.
I was out there in the boom room and we was in a meeting. And everybody doing their presentation, they're doing their talking because it was a virtual event. And all these dignitaries were there and all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, and the crazy part was that the organizer didn't click to them what had happened. But what had happened was I'm sitting there and I'm kind of still trying to keep my eyes because I know I'm on the Zoom. I know I'm in one of them boxes. I know people can see me. And all of a sudden, this crazy hacker got in that thing, and it was a wild party that I don't never want to go to. And it was stuff that I should have never seen. And it would come in and it would go out.
A lot of baby oil up.
It would come in and it would come out. And I was like, all these people online, and my mouth
and a
dropped.
professional meeting, and then all of a sudden,
I called up my coworker, and my coworker said, "Oh, I had to make sure." I had to make sure when I'm from my computer. I was like, whoa.
When he walked inside and he was like, "You ain't gonna believe what just happened in the meeting,"
and they could not stop it. And I said,
the look on his face was like, "I didn't want to see it."
Yeah, I didn't want to see that whatsoever. And I was like, end it, man.
Hey,
what's up, Shaq? What's going on? What's up, Shaq? I was trying to tell the guy, I was saying, just end it. He was an older guy, and so all this, it was so many people that never did a virtual meeting. You know, we were so used to doing all this kind of stuff. But these people could barely just log into the computer.
Right. And then Zoom was like still kind of new. I mean, it wasn't new, but it was kind of.
It wasn't widely used.
It wasn't widely used like it is now. Yeah.
And boy, I looked at. He had glasses, and it's like the glasses wasn't even there no more. He had them wide rim black glasses, and he looked into the screen like this, and he was doing like
he was like, "Oh, let me make sure that this didn't happen on my end. Let me make sure that what I was watching."
And you know all these guys,
these
women in these business suits, and these guys in these suits, and he got up in the screen, and you know when you be trying to figure something out on the laptop, and you hold your mouth like this, and he was looking underneath the glasses, trying to be like, I said, "Just kill it, man, just kill me." But he tried to keep it going, and boy, they just got wilder and wilder. I'm like, oh man, come on, man, let's shut it down. But oh my God, boy, it was some time, boy, during that time, there was a lot of stuff, man.
A lot happened during the pandemic.
I got one more I want to share during that time too. Mm-hmm. I got Employee of the Month award. Uh-huh. And I was out there in the booming room, had my whole office set up. I had my jacket on, my tie, my shirt buttoned down, and everything like that. And I got the award, and the secretary said that you got all spoofed up and dressed up, because we was all working from home. Said you got all spoofed up and dressed up. You didn't have to do all of that. And I said, yeah, I want to be presentable. And my manager said, I bet you don't have no slacks on. And then all of a sudden they started climbing, talking about, I bet you do. I bet you do. He wouldn't do that. And I had some shorts on, some orange shorts. And you know me, Ezekiel. So I stood up, and boy, they bust out laughing. They bust out laughing. I had my whole suit and boots. I had just straight orange shorts. I had a blue jacket and a white shirt and a nice tie. Had my hair cut, everything, but I had my shorts because I was going out in the garden after the meeting.
Right. It didn't matter what was happening.
Break time. Every time I'm going to the garden.
Meeting in the garden.
Lunchtime, I'm going ahead and harvest my lunch.
Yep.
Get me a salad, get me a little something, stir fry that bad boy up. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you know, that time could have been just terrible. It could have been a hard time. But I don't know. We just crazy enough that we just enjoyed it. We enjoyed like not having so many people on the road.
Nobody.
The air just felt fresher and smelled fresher and cleaner. And when we would go out for our walks in the morning, it was like there was nobody out there, and we loved it. We had
cool.
a wonderful time just not having cars always trying to run you over while you walking, and everybody out with every now and again we would see people, with their dogs walking or whatever, but that was about the most that you had that was out. Everybody else was afraid, and they were in the house, and they were not going out, and they didn't know if something in the air was just gonna fall on them and give them the virus, or they didn't know what was happening. But
we're going back on topic, because Gigi always does this every time she come in. But getting back on topic, you may be going through these challenging situations, fam, financially, all of this stuff, and every time you pick this thing up here, or you go online, or you turn the TV on, all you're gonna see is doom and gloom. Disconnect. Sit down with your family, with your friends. Get together. Have some get together. Have some karaoke at the house or at wherever you are, or go to the park and meet up. Everybody meet up and have a little brunch or lunch and have fun and enjoy these moments.
You can still, we still to this day. When he was talking earlier about, when we were teenagers and we would get with our cousins, siblings, whatever, and we would share expenses. We still do the same thing with some of our tribe members today. We still do the same thing. We go and we stop together. We go and find those
time to make that run.
On the fruit.
No shot. They're about time to make that run. Aliens.
On the fruit trees, on different types of herbs, medicinal plants, whatever. We still get together, we share things, we share costs on things. If we do decide that we're gonna go out and do something, there she goes. She said, "I'm coming."
Come on.
If we do decide that we're gonna buy some food. We had our friends come and stay the weekend a couple of weeks ago, and
cool.
And they were like, "Okay,
what we eat?
What we gonna eat? And let's split the bill in half." So we go to the grocery store, and we're able to get some stuff to put on the grill and last us for the whole weekend. And really
try new dishes.
This is our bad thing. Both of us can cook, and so. For us, when we go out to restaurants, we be like, it was all right. So for us, we tend to do a lot more at home in our environment and building relationships. And we about to do it again in the next 3 weeks. We about to do it again.
Oh Lord!
Just because I'm renting a truck. But
I'll let you borrow my trailer.
But
then you got to bring it back, though.
Then you have to bring it back. It makes a difference, though, when you have people that you can get with, y'all on the same page, y'all got each other back no matter what happens, and it just makes a huge difference. These relationships that some of them that we built online, we built these like Shakira. Been down here when we were living in the RV. You know what I'm saying? Her and her son.
She was my advocate when people saying they lying, they ain't living on no RV, they ain't living in no wood. People love to say, "Man, I see you with a house. You wasn't living in no woods."
And then look, and Shy is the one that'll come in and be like, "Have you ever been there?" Well, you don't know what you're talking about then.
I'll be like, man, they be coming. Boys, should I be like, stop it.
Cut it out. Yep. Cut it out. This is a peaceful environment. Don't come over here with that.
But on the real though, think about this. When last time you went to the library? Okay, I'm finna go real off script. Did you not know that you can rent movies, you can rent players, recorders, music, all of that for almost nothing, pennies. Yeah. Now imagine this. You go to your local library, you go and look at an old movie, and then invite some friends and some family. And then maybe some snacks and some whatever. Everybody bring just maybe a snack. Even if you do a little short list, somebody bring soda, somebody bring, just try it. Just try it. And then have your little movie night. Or some days you might want to go and check out a cookbook for pennies on the dollars. And then you can try a date night, or you can just try a little family get together and y'all just randomly pick a recipe out the cookbook and cook it up. You'll notice you're gonna spend hours fellowshipping, talking, listening to that music, laughing, playing, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was the bomb," or "That was good," or "That I would have did this." You're gonna collaborate. You're gonna build relationships. You're gonna build memories. And guess what happens? You start building your community. You start building your tribe. You start building people that you can reach out to when things don't go right. Yeah. So you don't have to be by yourself all the time. Yeah. You start building the support system. Yeah. And then don't nobody trying to get nothing from somebody, because we all going through it at the same time.
Our daughter went to the DMV area, and one of the G Tribe members was like, "Oh, give her my phone number. If she run into anything, she have any issues, she need to know anything, she need to know where to go, where not to go, all of this, I got her." That was one of the G Tribe members. You know what I mean? So you build family, you build relationships through this internet with people who are like-minded, with people who, you know, have good intentions and have proven themselves to have good intentions with you. You know, I was like, "Oh, I know her. Yeah. Like, we done had some real conversations, and I know that if my child needs anything, she can call that number right there." Yeah.
So, and it's just like this too. I got a brother. I don't know whether he's still in here, but it's a brother in here that's been rock solid with me. We met him. We met up at one time. We communicate. It's time where I'm about to kill myself out here. He'd be like, "Hey, Eco, you might need to do this. You might need to do that." Probably gonna save my life from snake bites and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Hard hats, all that kind of stuff. But these are things where you build those relationships, and it is good. There are good people out there in this world. Yeah. And there are good people, but you gotta be somewhat of a magnet and approachable. Yeah. To connect with people. Yeah. Because we have opportunities, but we got to get creative about our opportunities.
We have to. And, you know, and I know it's hard to trust people.
I know. Okay. And you're going to meet some that you're going to have to cut off now. Don't get it twisted.
Some that you got to cut off with a hatchet. Oh, Lord. Like, have to cut them with you got to cut them off with a real
You got some chain ball? I need my chainsaw.
Keep that thing real sharp. Hey. But there are other people who are actually good-hearted people who will actually be a strong support for you. And when they prove that they'll be a strong support for you, then those are the people you let into your tribe, into your environment. Because there are some people who see, he is the person where he is more like, I don't know them people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, give somebody a chance. You know, give them a chance.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, Sunday?
What's going on, son?
Give them a chance to show that they're right. But I'm the person, is the first time you show me, I'm done. See, he will build the relationship and be like, okay, you know, everybody has a bad day every now and then. And I'm like, that bad day was too bad for me, and bye. You know what I mean? So you have to work together with the people who you know are looking out for your best interest. And once you find those people who are looking out for your best interest, I promise you, those people are going to have your back. No matter what you go through, those people are going to have your back. At your lowest point, those people that are there not to get your business to spread it all over the place, but those people who are there to show up for you and to be a support system for you and to say, you know what, I don't care what time it is. If you need me, if you just need to get on the phone with me just to cry during your hard time, come on, come on. Let's get on the phone and let's cry together. Let's be a support system together. Let's talk it out if you want to talk, and we don't have to talk if you don't want to, but just know that I'm here for you. Those are the type of relationships that we have built with people even among the madness, even among the chaotic people that we thought were peaceful that had to get that freaking hatchet and get cut off. We still have built some solid relationships. And those, you can't put money on those.
And remember, fam, a prayer will be the plot any day. I remember when I was in school and I had this bicycle that I used to piece together. And I was saving up. Don't get it twisted. You know, I was cutting some yards every now and then, but this wasn't yard cutting season. And I used to ride my bicycle. I lived in a small town. I rode it all over town. Went from neighborhood to neighborhood, playing basketball, only child, just looking for a friend. And I could not lift up my handlebars like catwalk or anything because my front wheel would get disconnected from my front tire, which is the reason why I know it happened a couple of times. But this particular day, we were riding. There was probably about 5 or 6 of us, and we were riding through a neighborhood, and everybody was kind of doing their thing, and we were laughing, joking, and having a good time. And I don't know what happened, but I forgot that if you lift up a little bit, the wheel come from the forks of the bicycle.
Peer pressure.
I don't know. I know I had been good with riding this bicycle for a while, and I had got good where I just didn't allow that to happen. But that day, I was caught up in the moment, and I lifted up, and that tire, it was like it was in slow motion. That front tire rolled past me, and I slowly went down, and I hit that road. And see, I'm from Georgia, South Georgia. They had these big old rocks to come out the road. It wasn't none of that smooth blacktop you see or none of that other stuff. They had them rocks to kind of come up out of the ground, and that front fork hit the road, and I went over the handlebars, and I flipped a couple of times, and I slid.
More than a few times?
I slid. I probably still got the scratches. I got some old scratches still there. Well, I slid. I don't know how many feet, but it didn't seem like it was going to stop, and I could smell my skin burning. And I slid, and by the time I stopped, I didn't hear nothing but laughter. They were falling out. One of them even fell off his bike laughing. And they were laughing. And all I could feel were tears in my eyes.
Girls didn't do this.
Welling up.
And this is also why we live longer. But we don't do that type of stuff.
I end up smiling myself, but I was still about to cry at the same time. And they joked me, and we went back to school, and boy, they was telling everybody, and people were laughing. And what happened? And they was laughing. I'm wearing long sleeves, don't want to share none of my scars or nothing like that. But one day, there was this boy, and I remember him. He came, and he was around them when they was joking me and laughing around. And he waited till when we was walking to class, and he said, "Come by my house when you get out of school," because he didn't live that far from me. And I had to walk. I was walking in because I ain't riding the bicycle no more. And I walked, walking, and I went to the back of his house, to the back door like I always did. And he said, "Come around to the garage." He came around to the garage, and he had a bicycle for me. and he gave me one of his old bikes because he had just got a bike. And he said, "Hey man, you can get this bicycle, man. I don't need it. It's just sitting here." And I remember it was a white 10-speed. I won't forget it. With the black wrap all worn out, the seat was all worn out. But I rode that bicycle. But I'm telling you, a prayer will be the plot every day. Sometimes people look at you at your lowest, and when you right down in the dumps, you don't know there could be something in the background working for you in your favor, and it'll turn around to benefit you, and those will be laughing at you. That's all right. That's all right, because your day gonna come. Your day gonna come. And believe me, it came. Because we used to wrestle and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. That's all good. We fixing to get out of here. Been on for a long time, y'all. We thank you all for coming on in. We thank you all for fellowshipping with us. Gigi, thank you for coming in. My special guest, Gigi. Used to be a routine, but special guest. I call it special guest. But check this out. Ready and willing. We got to go through this.
Yeah.
We got to go through these challenging situations. But get ready and take it on with a willing spirit. Because you're going to be able to, if you take the right attitude, the right mindset, you're going to start seeing blessings in the midst of disparity.
Absolutely.
You're going to see opportunity in the midst of disparity. You're going to see markets may crash, people start selling stuff, and you might be struggling. But then you're going to also see where you're going to start coming up. And you're going to see opportunities if you focus. And you're going to be able to change you and your family's life through this challenging situation if you are willing to see those opportunities. So don't discard this situation. We all got to go through these situations. In order for a market to rally, it got to go down. In order to get to a winning season, you got to lose. So just understand that this is a cycle and a process of life. But it's okay. I'm going to leave y'all with this one last story, then I'm out of here. I heard this week there was a Miss America, and she said that she was at this place, I guess she was working or whatever, and she met this lady, and the lady went to talking to her, and she ended up asking her, she said, "You should be in a pageant, you should be modeling." And she said, and then she approached her and told her, "Yeah, you heard the story before?"
Perhaps.
Yeah. And so she said, fast forward, she ended up going to the local pageant and she lost. She went back to the local pageant, she lost. She went back again. I think she ended up going about 5, 6, 7 times. But the 7th time she won. And then she ended up being Miss America. So what I'm saying is, did she lose? Or did she just not give up? Because you haven't lost until you give up. You haven't lost a thing until you give up. I could buy everything that I lost, but now I don't want it. Now I want other things. Now I have graduated. But you got to go through those things to really understand and respect that you haven't lost until you give up. So the key is don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up, fam. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Till next time. Peace out, y'all. If I can find that button. Peace.